So the immigrants can sue the government for retrospective ILR if anything of such is implemented, as it happened in HSMP policy document 2028. So in the year 2006, a certain group of immigrants were already in the UK. They were just about to get their settlement, and then the government changed policy whilst they were already in the program to increase their stay for them to get their settlement. The immigrants took the government to court, and they won the case in April 2028. So the impartial judge who judged the matter said government increasing their stay or their settlement period whilst they were already in the program is termed as migration abuse and an abuse of power. And so how did we get here? So on the 12th of May, the government of UK published a white paper. A white paper means it's not a legislation yet. They were going to think about it. There were a lot of things said. It's an 80 pages document I've read line by line. And then at the end of it, it said they were going to give the public, a chance to also share their opinion about whatever the policy document was saying. And they were going to think about it and pass it out by the end of 2025. Now, whilst we're waiting for what the government was going to say, because we knew it was just a white paper, on the 14th of May, the British Broadcasting Corporation released a statement to say that immigrants already in the UK were going to face 10 years of settlement. And that was what awakened everybody. People were like, why? Because anytime we've been in the UK, every policy that has been implemented has been, forward-looking. It's never been retrospective. So what is happening? What are you people trying to do? This policy document, even though it's not implemented, has stirred up a lot of division. So the elderly people in the Labour Party has called Keir Starmer out, and they are not happy by the fact that he used the word island of strangers to address immigrants. Also, callers who have called radio stations are very angry and upset about the fact that Keir Starmer is, bringing a lot of policy that are affecting legal migration, and the general public has expressed their interest that they actually want legal migration. Now they've come out to say they want legal migration, they do not want illegal migration. That is what they are saying. So why is Keir Starmer's document targeting legal migration? And honestly, if you read the policy, the white paper properly, about 80% of the policies were going to affect legal migration. So the people were not happy. What brought about all this retrospective decision is that because Kemi Badenoch said that all these 2 million people were going to be receiving indefinite leave to remain and British citizenship, which is what they want to prevent. So the government is trying to, retrospectively count it. And if you read comments from people, which I will insert in the clip, some of the commenters have said that they actually want it to be counted retrospectively. So it should go back and we should start counting. So if they implement it from next year, everybody will be affected who is supposed to get ILR from next year. It means if you came in the UK in 2021, you are going to be affected. And this is what lawyers are also saying. So we are looking at this from the legal perspective. Is it right? No, it is not right. Why is it not right? Because it's a contract. It was a promise that was made already. It was a legislation that was in place, already rolling, before these people came into the country. This is a country where laws and regulations work to a higher extent. And so if it was, a legislation that these people were already promised and they are in the system, why should they start going back to count? So I feel like Parliament already knows that it is not really going to be a fair deal, and that is why they've thrown it back to the public to make a deliberation or decision on it. But what we are trying to put out here is that it has happened before. It's not something that is new. There is nothing new happening in the UK. Everything that's happened has already happened before. So this thing has happened before in 2006, where a group of migrants who were already here, as I said, were going to be facing longer waiting period to get their settlement, and they challenged it and went to court and they won. And it's called the HSMP policy document 2028. The whole issue stayed in court for nearly 2 years, but eventually the immigrants won. So it doesn't mean that the government can just superimpose or just put up a policy out there. It is possible for it to be challenged in court in case it has to come to that. But I just hope that it won't get there, because already there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of division, there's a lot of things that are going on, and I feel like the government would want to try to avoid the stage of getting to that level of dragging to court and having to stay in court and having to come out with a decision. So that is what I've got to tell you, that it's happened before and it went to court just in case anything is supposed to happen. So just keep your fingers crossed.